Today we'll take a look at the split step when hitting ground strokes from the baseline and focus on the questions of how and when to land the split step. First, however, when should you split step? The answer is easy. You should split before every ground stroke shot that you hit. Every shot you hit, if possible. There will be exchanges in which, for example, you are just forced to run from side to side or under great time pressure and won't have time to split step between shots. In those instances, you may not be able to split step before you begin moving for the next shot. But unless that's the case, split step. Simply put, the split step has you spreading your feet a bit wider than your shoulders, jumping slightly off the ground and landing on the balls of your feet first, with bent knees in a ready position, ready to go in any direction without any pause in your movement. The height of the split step will vary from barely noticeable height to quite noticeable height, depending on what you are comfortable with. But it's landing ready to go in any direction that we'll focus on here. First, how to land the split step. Contrary to what I perceive as generally accepted understanding among recreational players, if you are going to have to move to one side or the other, either to run to a forehand or to a backhand, or to run around your backhand to hit a forehand, you do not want to land the split step with your weight equally distributed on both feet. Why not? Because you want to immediately, without any pause, start moving to your opponent's shot. Thus, you want to land with most of your weight on the foot opposite to the side to which you are going to move in order to hit your next shot. So if the next shot is going to come to your forehand side and you are a righty, you want to land your split step with most of your weight on your left foot so that you can immediately push off from that foot to the right. And the need to push off to one side or the other without pause tells you when you should land the split step. You should come down only when you know on which side you are going to have to hit the next shot. This means that you do not want to land the split step until an instant after your opponent has struck the ball, when you can see which way you are going to have to move next and thus which foot should bear the most weight. To do this, you will have to start your split step an instant before or an instant after your opponent strikes the ball, depending on how quickly you are able to ascertain the direction of the oncoming ball. Yes, the timing is a delicate matter. So far, I've had in mind instances in which you move directly to your forehand side to hit a forehand and directly to your backhand side to hit a backhand. Of course, you may frequently move to your backhand side but run around your backhand in order to hit a forehand. The same principle applies. You will still push off from one foot or the other. Land your split step on that foot first, even if you're going to run around your backhand rather than hit a backhand. And here are clips of two well-known pros as they split step. Watch Rafael Nadal in these three clips. Here, in the first clip, note that when his right foot comes all the way down so that his weight is on that foot and his right heel is flat on the court, his left foot is clearly not flat on the court. In fact, it may not be touching the court at all. And now he pushes off from his right foot towards the left to hit his forehand. And notice that when he does plant his left foot flat on the court, the foot is already angled in the direction he wants to move. Clearly, he timed his split step so that when he landed, he knew in which direction he would have to move for the next shot. Forgive me if I'm focusing too much on Rafa, but here is a fine example of him planting his right foot and pushing off of it even while his left foot is still well in the air. And just so it's clear that other pros do the same thing, here is Maria Sharapova, landing a split step on her right foot and pushing off of it to hit a backhand. In each instance, Rafa and Maria timed their split steps so that when they landed, they already knew in which direction they would have to move for their next shot. Knowing that, they landed most of their weight on the foot from which they wanted to push off. Finally, this is not easy. Timing your split step, as I've suggested, takes precision. But if you haven't been timing and landing your split step in this manner, merely trying to do so will, in and of itself, bring you closer to the ideal and thus improve your ability to get to and set up for your next stroke. And you will get better at it if you can film yourself do so from the rear and from an angle that permits you to catch your opponent's strokes as well as your split steps. Seeing what you're doing, when you're initiating, and when and how you're landing your split step will be particularly helpful in perfecting your split step. If you've liked this video, please click the thumbs up icon below and please consider subscribing if you're not already doing so. And finally, as always, I want you to keep playing and enjoying the greatest of all games.